Greetings everybody, it is Demon Storm here. Now as the Nephilim controversy continues to occur, I wanted to take a look at one of Nephilim's specific claims that he made, that we were fabricating the screen grabs using Photoshop or some other similar program like, laughably he even accuses of using MS Paint. Now, if Nephilim actually knew anything about graphics design and the processes that you have to go through and the effort that you need to go through in order to be able to accurately and professionally replicate and alter these screen grabs, then he wouldn't be even thinking that it can be done in Microsoft Paint, because it just can't. It's difficult enough as it is to do it in Photoshop. But I've had a look over these screen grabs and I've gone up to the pixel level to take a look and see if I can find any discrepancies between Nephilimfree's text and other text from other people who are chatting at the same time. So I'll state now that I'm not an expert, but I have done a lot of work with Photoshop and graphics design. I have had a smattering of university experience with it as well. So, while I'm not an expert, I do have more than a passing familiarity with the processes that are used and the ways that you can spot if something is amiss. So, we're going to take a look at this first picture here, and it is a small section of the screen in this conversation between Nephilimfree and this woman he has been flirting with. Now, I've circled the 2 points that I want us to take a look at, and we are looking here at two A's. There's a green one, which is the lady's text, and then there is this black one down here, which is Nephilimfree's. Now, if you take a very close look at each of the A's, you can actually see that they are pixel perfect. The shading on them in the locations is exactly the same. The colour is different, obviously, because Nephilimfree's is a black text and Our Lady Friends is a green text. But the most telling part is the faded pixels. Now, they're all different colours, and changing them and altering them so that they match is a lot of hard work, because you then have to go through every line of text and every character to make sure that they all matched up and they were all right. But as you can see here, these two are shaded correctly in both letters and they're identical to the pixel. So the alphas are right, the transparencies are right, the shading pixels are right, the shading pixels are all in exactly the same places. So there has been no alteration here whatsoever. Now if we move on to picture 2, and this is really the more telling of the two pictures. Again, we're looking at the top here, circled in red, is Nephilimfree's text, where you have the A in R. And down at the bottom here, circled in green, you have another A, but this A is in a chat window that is below the one Nephilimfree is chatting in. So you've also got a transparency layer over the top of the text that is circled in green. But even then, you can see, if you take a look at Nephilim's A there, and you look down and you see the A that is actually under Nephilim's chat window, you can see that again they are pixel perfect. The shading pixels are correct, the pixels are all in the right place. Now the real telling piece of evidence here is the transparency layer that runs over the top of the text that's underneath Nephilim's chat window. You can see that there is the transparency, there's a level of alpha in there as well, I would think. It would be very hard to actually replicate that effect, because it would involve changing the contrasts on the actual text that was under this chat window. So, and you can't see any evidence of that at all. I mean, if this was a fake, this would have taken weeks to replicate every single one of these screen grabs. Probably even longer, because it would all have to be done by hand. And it would all have to be done pixel by pixel. So yeah, there's just no way that this is fabricated. So what are you going to do, Neff? Are you going to continue on this stupid lie that you had nothing to do with her, or are you going to try and save face by saying that you were playing her? You've already done the most unchristian thing anyone can think of, and you completely lied about it, and then when you were backed into a corner and the evidence was produced, you threw this woman under the bus. Very nice of you, Neff, very nice of you. But as you can see clearly from these pictures, there's been no evidence fabrication here. This happened. It's not slander. For it to be slander, it has to have not happened, but as you can see, it has. So what are you going to do, Neff?